Hi guys, Martin here with another roundup of all the latest racing game news straight from the Team VVV website. Just in time for the Daytona 500 last weekend, Technics has released Nascar 14 after taking over the license from EA in recent years. Unfortunately though, it's not out in the UK yet, so we handed it over to our own US correspondent and NASCAR enthusiast, Cody. Probably just as well really, as in true British fashion, Alan and I know absolutely nothing about NASCAR. In fact, the only time I ever watched NASCAR is from seeking out some of the spectacular pile-ups floating around on YouTube. Not that I'm sadistic or anything. For me though, it was disappointing to see that Cody's races were devoid of accidents. Perhaps I'll have to persuade him to do some crash testing on my behalf. All the footage you see here comes from the Xbox 360 version, which curiously won't be available in the UK for some unknown reason, but the PS3 and PC versions will be out sometime in March. Drive Club is one of the great gaming mysteries this generation. First it was coming out during the launch of the PS4, then it was pushed back until earlier this year, and then it was rumoured to come out alongside the Japanese PS4 launch this week, which of course didn't happen. In fact now it's looking like we probably won't see it until the summer at this rate. Sony have been suspiciously silent about the delay, and news on Drive Club has been non-existent ever since. However, we think we may now know why. You may have heard before that Sony are supposedly developing a VR headset to rival the Oculus Rift. Well, rumour has it that this will be unveiled next month, and that Drive Club will be one of the main games to showcase the headset, allowing you to freely look around the cockpit camera. It makes sense, because looking back, Evolution's MotorStorm Apocalypse was used to push 3D gaming at the time too, before Sony eventually realised that nobody actually cared about 3D. PlayStation players rejoice! Trials is finally coming to PS4, after previously being a Microsoft exclusive. First revealed at last year's E3, Ubisoft has announced that Trials Fusion will be released on April 16th for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4 and PC. This time though, not only will it be available as a digital download, but also a full retail release, which also comes with a season pass with access to 6 additional DLC packs due to be released throughout the next year. At the time I was chronically addicted to Trials Evolution, and Fusion looks as if it will largely repeat the same winning formula, with an added trick system and a futuristic city setting. It really is one of those series you just love to hate. A classic case of easy to play but controller crunchingly hard to master. In fact, it probably pays to have another controller on standby when you inevitably break it out of frustration. Last week we saw the release of the Ferrari DLC packs for Need for Speed Rivals. So it was only logical that EA would follow this up with 2 legendary Lamborghini, with the arrival of the Miura concept and the Gallardo LP 570-4 race car, available in separate racer and police packs, or both if you fancy a combo. Just be prepared to burn another gaping hole in your wallet, as they don't come cheap. We're still waiting for Codemasters to announce the inevitable next-gen follow-up to Dirt 3, but this apparently isn't the only Codemasters game we have to look forward to this year. British touring car champion Matt Neal has been helping Codemasters tuning cars and tracks for an unannounced game. He tweeted that at least 2 Codemasters racing games will be coming in the near future. We can already guess that Dirt 4 and F1 2014 will be released this year at some point, but Matt's involvement really implies some sort of touring car collaboration, which really makes us wonder if Grid 3 is on the cards or even a possible TOCA reboot. If there's anyone out there who still plays Gran Turismo 5, you don't have long to collect its mountain of downloadable content anymore. As we already know, GT5's online service will be disabled this year, but Sony has now confirmed that the vast majority of DLC will no longer be available to purchase as of April 30th. Meanwhile, it's been confirmed that the talent spotting GT Academy is making a return this year, where it will be even bigger than before, covering 30 regions spanning up to 160 countries. It's been another busy period for Project Cars. Slightly Mad Studios has announced yet another licensing agreement. A sports car manufacturer, Radical, has signed up to appear in the game at some point in the future. We don't know exactly when we'll be seeing them all yet, but so far 3 Radicals have been confirmed. the SR3 RS and SR8 RX prototype cars, along with the closed cockpit RXC Turbo road car. These are probably a long way off though. As for the here and now, a new update added a rather ravishing supercar, the Roof CTR3. As ever, this is an early work in progress version, but the inclusion of the CTR3 means that half of all the Roof sets to appear in the game can now be driven, as Project Cars' car collection continues to expand in the run-up to its final release later this year. Meanwhile, an update released for RaceRoom Racing Experience has finally answered players' prayers, adding an option to remove the unwanted corner assist markers, which will be steadily replaced by static distance markers on every track. Simbin stated that the addition of the novice difficulty mode meant that the corner markers were no longer necessary. As you can see here, Bernie highly approves of this decision. Elsewhere, there's been plenty of new mobile racing releases lately. First up, we had Auto Club Revolution Drift, a sort of mobile spin-off to the PC racer Auto Club Revolution from Technics, designed to expand the series to a much wider audience. There's a generous offering of over 50 licensed cars, car customization, and 25 fictional city tracks. As you'd expect though for a mobile game, the vehicle handling is more casual and accessible. And yes, before you ask, it's free to play, which of course means there's in-app purchases. More details and a trailer can be found in the link below. Technically though, Auto Club was the only truly new release, as the rest were simply Android ports of previously released iOS games. As always seems to be the case, Android users always get shafted when it comes to racing releases appearing on iOS first. Take Ridge Racer Slipstream for example. It was originally meant to be released last December alongside its iOS release, but it was subsequently delayed. Fortunately, it's now finally available on the Google Play Store, and unlike the iOS version, it's free to download. I was very much looking forward to this, to be honest, as it appeared to be the first traditional Ridge Racer game in a very long time. Bugbear's Ridge Racer Unbounded was a rather strange hybrid of Ridge Racer and Burnout, which didn't quite work. The less said about the shameful bare bones Vita game, the better. So imagine then my disappointment when I found that Ridge Racer Slipstream was completely unplayable. When playing it on my Sony Xperia Z phone, for some reason the screen keeps randomly going black during a race. Hopefully a patch update can sort this out, but I'd be interested to know if anyone else has experienced this as well, so do let me know in the comments below if you're encountering the same problem. We also had the rather belated release of Colin McRae Rally on Android, a full 8 months later than its iOS release. For better or worse, it looks pretty much exactly like a mobile version of the classic Colin McRae Rally 2 from 1999. Featuring stages and rally cars of the era, such as McRae's Ford Focus. What sets the Android version apart though, is that it was published by Funstar, who were founded by the Edmondson brothers, who previously worked on the Driver series. In the past, Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport have each had their own branded racing wheels, but now it's the turn of the undisputed karting king. Yes, everyone's favourite podgy plumber Mario will be getting a licensed racing wheel of his very own, to mark the release of Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. Like the wheel bundled with the last Mario Kart game on Wii, you simply attach your Wiimote into the wheel. As such then, it costs considerably less than a traditional racing wheel at just £10. Alternatively though, if you want a slightly more visceral experience, look no further than this, the Mario Kart Ride On. Yes, believe it or not, this is officially licensed by Nintendo, and even comes complete with authentic sound effects from the Mario Kart games, making it officially the coolest ride-on in existence. Sadly though, in what is surely a grave oversight on their part, it doesn't come in adult sizes. So that's my childhood dreams completely dashed. That's it for now though, but I'll be back next time for another roundup. As always, visit teamvvv.com for the latest racing game news, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.